Sydney McLaughlin-Lerone run faster than she did in Paris, 49.71. Worth mentioning, Gabby Thomas has already ran a 49.68.
Even before the race, all eyes were on Sydney McLaughlin and Gabby Thomas. The competition between them is unmistakable. Well, Sydney and Gabby are undoubtedly two athletes to watch out for. Both of them may be U.S. athletes, but they specialize in different events. Gabby specializes in the 100 and 200 meter sprint, while Sydney competes in the 400 meters hurdles. They both built a name for themselves in the sport, in their own merit and talent. Gabby Thomas is also a one-time Olympic Games silver medalist, one-time Olympic Games bronze medalist, 3 times Diamond League meeting winner, one-time NCAA Indoor champion, and one-time national champion. She also won both an individual bronze medal and a team silver medal at the Tokyo Olympic Games. She qualified for Team USATF in the 200 meters, clocking a trials record and tied the 3rd fastest time in history to win in 21.61, taking over the number 2 spot on the all-time world performer list behind Florence Griffith-Joyner.
It's Brandini and Thomas. Thomas is going to hang on though. Coming to the line to win the women's 200. Gabby Thomas is going to Tokyo, 21.60.
Although she arrived at the Olympic trials as the 200 favorite, no one foresaw the magnitude of her winning time, 21.61, to move to number 2 all-time in the half lap with only a pair of Florence Griffith-Joyner times from long ago, 1988, ahead of her. Thomas's splendid dash was among the pleasantly shocking surprises of A trials. So far this season, Gabby Thomas won the women's 200 meters at the 2023 Texas Invitational with a solid season best time of 21.21 seconds, 1.2 milliseconds, at Mike A. Myers Stadium, after setting her season best time of 22.46 seconds on this same track at the 2023 Texas Relays, returned after 27 days to beat her previous record by 0.25 seconds. And she wasn't done. The next day, Gabby Thomas improved her personal best to a massive 49.68 seconds to win 400 meters at the same event. Meanwhile, Sydney McLaughlin is a 2-time Olympic champion, 3-time world champion, 1-time world champion silver medalist, 1-time world youth champion, 3-time Diamond League meeting winner, 1-time NCAA champion, 2-time national champion, and 1-time Diamond Trophy winner. More than that, she's also the current world record holder for the 400-meter hurdles, as well as the current NACAC record holder for the same event. So far in her career, she once held and currently holds a total of 4 world records. That's not all. At the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020, Sydney won 2 Olympic gold medals, one for the 400-meter hurdles and another for the 4x400-meter relay, as well as a dominating world record. Now, we have established that Gabby and Sydney are both great athletes and outstanding runners in their respective events. But a few days ago, the two met on the track and competed against each other in the 400 meters at the NYC Grand Prix. At the 30-second mark, the gap between the two was very obvious.
And now, this is McLaughlin-Lerone. She'll show all that strength from the women's 400-meter hurdles. And this is a lot.
Although Gabby is running fast, she was not fast enough.
Gabby Thomas finishing well, but it is Sydney McLaughlin-Lerone driving all the way through.
So at the end of the race, it was Sydney who cruised to victory at the NYC Grand Prix.
New personal best, 49.51. New personal best, 49.51.
Which is also notably the 4th fastest time in the world this year. This came as a pleasant surprise, especially after she finished 2nd place when she ran her first race in the Diamond League Series circuit, where she hasn't raced since 2019. It's also worth noting that it was her first 1-lap flat race in 2 years. Although Sydney started fast out of the blocks in her first flat lap race in nearly 5 years, Dominican Republic's Marilady Paulino, the world and Olympic silver medalist, caught up with Sydney down the final bend before pulling ahead on the straight to take victory in a meeting record 49.12.
Really hard. This is brilliant from Paulino. It looks like Lerone went too quickly. McLaughlin has been reeled in here. She's paid for that aggression. Paulino much more measured, and she comes through in 49.12. It is a meeting record just inside the mark from Williams-Darling. Well, that's a lesson, isn't it, for McLaughlin-Lerone? Really.
Still, Sydney McLaughlin-Lebrun, who has made clear her aim to succeed over the flat to go with her remarkable performances over the 400-meter hurdles, made her mark clocking at 49.71 seconds. To think that this was her outdoor season debut, having not raced since a 60-meter indoor in Boston in February. Even Sydney thought it was a good enough start.
McLaughlin-Lebrun, who has got Marilady Paulino up on her shoulder. She's already drifting past.
Sydney also shared how she felt about her run.
Race.
Felt good, felt strong getting out. Obviously things to work on the back end, but my coach wanted me to take it out and see how I felt, and I can't complain with that first 200.
And what happened over the last 120 meters?
Just, not enough racing.
Since then, she trained even more, which paid off when she won the 400-meter flat at the Continental Tour Gold meeting in New York. Sydney wrested the lead at the halfway point from Gabby Thomas, who finished second in 50.29, while Jamaican Cherokee Young took third in 51.02. The flat is definitely harder in my opinion. It's hard to kind of figure out your cadence mid-race. At least with hurdles I kind of know where I'm at. It's a different kind of pain, but the challenging good one, said Sydney. Compared to the Diamond League race in Paris, I went out a little more conservative to kind of feel the back end a little bit better. I did a good job of that, she told reporters. Some things to clean up, but a PR is a PR. In a recently uploaded vlog on her personal channel, Sydney shared her entire stay in New York. Her pre-meet day was composed of hanging out with fellow sprinters, Chloe Abbott.
All I heard was this. It's literally no big deal at all. Every time we show up to practice, I'm like,
and Jenna Prandini.
I just feel like, well, if Sydney had to do that, like, I can do whatever.
Before visiting the track. That may seem like a lot. Well, it actually is. But in order to be the great runner that she is, she has to train really, really hard. But of course, that's not all she does.
And that's a wrap. Get her back to her house, eat something healthy, get to bed early, and then she's ready to compete the next day.
The day before the game, Sydney and her coach, Bobby Kersey, met on the track.
Get your spikes on, nothing crazy today. Just
some stride.
Just go lane number 5, take to your second hurdle mark, which is the Xfinity sign. Okay. Just coming out of the curve, okay?
Of course, her husband was there to support her too.
Speaking in those hurdle terms for the layman.
Yes, for us,
civilians.
400s for.
Before her race, here's what Sydney has in mind.
I want to be healthy. I want to enjoy the moment. I want to execute.
And she did. But she shared that her contentment stemmed from both her second place win in Paris and her victory in New York. At the end of the day,
learning to be patient and take it one step at a time and understand that not everything is going to always come the way you want it to or when you want it to.
Watch this to see how Abby Steiner, like Sydney, is owning the track.